Hi guys, so before we get into it, a quick disclaimer that you'll find all my other reviews of Stephen King adaptations in my Stephen King playlist, and there will be spoilers today because why not? Don't fight it, just accept the spoilers. I'm trying to do you a favour here. So this is the third Sometimes They Come Back movie. It is the final one in the trilogy. Somehow it manages to be even worse than the first two. So this one was directed by Daniel Zelik Berk, and he is a Berk for having done this movie. He only directed 2 films in his entire career. The other one was a film called Damascus Cover. Probably that's as useless as this one. Bizarrely though, this was nominated for an award. So this came out in 98, and in 1999 it was nominated for the Choice Award at the 1999 Puchon International Fantastic Film Festival. Now, I'm guessing that the Choice Award is kind of like the organisers' recommended films, you know, because they want certain films to get recognition that weren't in the other categories, maybe. A bit like when you go to CEX, or is it GameStop in America, and you might see a sign that says, oh, the staff picks over here, and underneath there'll be like certain games that the staff would sort of try and push you towards because they think that they're good. Like, you know, I think that's what a Choice Award would sort of be. It's the organisers of the festival saying, we've got some picks for you. Here's our Choice Awards of certain films. And somebody has wanted this film to be nominated for the Choice Award, but you look at the films that this went up against in the category in 1999, the first Blair Witch film, the first Cube film, horror masterpieces going up against Sometimes They Came Back for More. And all I can say is thank God that this film did not win, or it would have been an absolute disgrace. So to give you an idea of the plot for this, well, it's got nothing to do with the plot for the first 2 movies. This takes place in an Arctic research station somewhere. So a distress signal has been sent up. People are dying in this Arctic scientific station, whatever. And the United States government sends in 2 soldiers to investigate, a man and a woman. But once they get there, they get trapped in the research station with the remaining scientists because there's some kind of nutter down in the mines underneath the ground, or maybe it's something demonic, we don't know. And the plot kind of goes on from there. And later on in the film, there's a tenuous attempt to connect this to the previous 2 films. So we're asked to believe that there's like a demonic altar down in the mines that is responsible for the same kind of skullduggery that caused the villains from the first 2 films to spring up, even though in the first 2 films it was ghosts that was causing all the destruction and murder. And this time around, it's either demons or zombies, demonic zombies maybe, but they're certainly not ghosts. It's... Ugh. The actors in this are people you've probably never heard of. So we've got Clayton, Rohner, Faith Ford, Chase Masterson. Have you heard of these people? Because I certainly haven't. Michael Gross did not want to return for another go-around at this. And this is an actor who is absolutely in favour of long-running movie characters. Hilary Swank, she's not back either. What a shock. Although the woman who plays the female soldier, Chase Masterson, she bears a bit of a resemblance to Hilary Swank, funnily enough. I don't know if that was deliberate or not. I guess she was probably my favourite character in this, mainly because she's channeling her inner Swank to at least some degree of effectiveness. I had to laugh when the 2 soldiers turn up at the research base. So they arrive by helicopter, but because of bad weather, they have to rappel down this line to get to the ground. And I guess this is like the big stunt of the movie, except they've set up this swirling mist machine, I guess, so that you can't see that the ground is really close beneath these actors. If you got a child to rappel out of a treehouse at the bottom of the garden, that child would probably be falling a lot further than these 2 United States Marines in this movie. The research base as well is such a poor set. It's so small. It's like a man shed. I don't understand how the helicopter managed to locate it if it's this small. I watched The X-Files from time to time, and there was an episode once where Mulder and Scully had to go to an Arctic research base. And even though that was just an episode of TV on a really small budget, it was still a much more impressive set than what you get in this full-length feature film. I get that this is a straight-to-video production, but even so, there's so little of interest in this movie, it's unreal. So I guess for a brief period of time, when the soldiers are getting introduced to the scientists, there's a little bit of suspense as they're sat around hoping that whatever this danger is in the mine is not going to come up and get them in the main research station bit. But that doesn't last long, in all honesty. There's not much in the way of excitement in this, even when things start to kick off. There's no decent kills. Like, the second film at least tried to introduce some slasher-type gory kills just to keep us a little bit entertained. There's nothing like that here. Nothing. There's a surprise death at one point, and it's not even shown. It happens off camera. There's no romance in the film. I mean, we've got two men and two women living in a small space in the middle of the Arctic, and nothing happens between any of them. There's no drama. There's no decent music. At one point, the main soldier, the tough dude, if you like, he decides that he's going to go into the mine and confront the terror. He's going to take the initiative and go down there, and he's going to do it himself as well. But one of the other characters says, no, you can't go out there. It's like 60 below. And she says this because there's like a physical gap between the living quarters bit and the entrance to the mines, right? But this guy, he's not bothered by this warning. He's like, no, look, if the villain can survive out there, then so can I. I'm going out there. And I'm thinking, yeah, but what if the villain is not human? Then that logic doesn't really stand up, does it? But he goes out there anyway. And as soon as he does, the wind assaults him. You can see him huddled under his thing. He's like, he's getting absolutely battered by the elements. And I'm thinking, oh, this could be a dodgy little walk to the mine entrance if it's like, I don't know, 1,000 yards or half a mile or whatever. But he starts trundling along. And then next minute, he's in the mines. He's literally gone 5 yards. That is all it seems to be between the living quarters and the mine, about 5 yards. And they were having this big conversation about not being able to survive outside. I'm really struggling to find any standout moments in this film, really. There's one sequence where both soldiers go down into the mine, and you think to yourself, okay, something's building here, but then they get turned around because they realise that there's some kind of poisonous gas in the air, so they beat a hasty retreat, and it's like, okay, that just feels like we've wasted 5 minutes. I actually fell asleep twice watching this film, and I certainly wasn't tired at the time that I put it on. So I think I missed about 5 minutes in the middle of the film. I didn't bother rewinding. At the end, I missed a good 15 minutes during the finale, although I did rewind it so I could see what happens at the end. But yeah, not a good sign when you fall asleep twice during the same film. There's one other moment of excitement, come to think of it, where the demonic zombies get into the research base finally, and the main hero throws a grenade behind himself down the corridor. You don't actually see it go off. You don't see any zombie limbs flying against the wall. Of course not. Not exactly a sensible move anyway, is it? Throwing a grenade in a building as small as this in the middle of the Arctic? I mean, if any of the walls fall down, then you're basically buggered. But yeah, it's the film's second big stunt, I guess, after the rappelling business near the start. But look, on the whole, this film is extremely poor. I would not advise you watch it. This is for sometimes they come back fanatics only, of which I suspect the number of such people is very small, possibly nil. So shall we get to the bag of terror and find out how I'm going to score this? Not much in here. In fact, there's only one Michael Myers carving knife. Pretty poor score. In fact, it's a very poor score. When I look back at the three films and I add up all the scores together, I don't think it would even come to 5 Michael Myers carving knives across the 3 films. I think the best of the 3 is probably the original, but I think I only gave that one 2 out of 5. To be honest, I'm just happy to be moving on. We've done it. We got through this. We can move on to the next Stephen King property. Thank you for joining me. I'll catch you all again next time. Bye-bye.